Well, if you did not see it, Crystal Palace took points away from Manchester City again this season. Now, if you had told me earlier in the beginning of this season that Crystal Palace would take 4 points out of 6 from Manchester City,
I would have thought you were a madman, bonkers. You do not know the sport itself.
but lo and behold, somehow Crystal Palace was able to do that. And not only that, Tottenham, of all clubs too, was able to do the double over Manchester City this season, which again, I still understand how that works because that team is very bipolar. As of lately, they can beat Manchester City and then go on and lose to Burnley, win other games, but who knows with that club. So let's talk though about Manchester City and possibly the wheels falling off. Roll the intros. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Mike, huge fan of the Premier League and obviously huge fan of Chelsea. But today's video, like I said, we're talking about Manchester City and possibly starting to see some cracks in their armor with this club. Now, as we saw against Crystal Palace, it was a 0-0 draw, which again, had Manchester City dropping points once again in the title race, which is massive between Manchester City and Liverpool, and that small percentage for Chelsea, even though I don't really think it's going to happen for them. There still is that small percent that they could still win the Champions or the Premier League itself. Now, like I said, Manchester City are right now still in first place, have 4 points over Liverpool, but Liverpool do have a game in hand, and yes, they still have to play each other, and therefore Liverpool could leapfrog Manchester City for the first place in the league, which would be massive for Liverpool with how the season's been going for Manchester City, Liverpool by themselves, because in the middle of the season, everyone thought Manchester City had this. They were the clear winners. No one's going to catch up to them. Had a massive unbeaten streak, and lo and behold, somehow Liverpool was able to keep up with them, and I'm not too sure, maybe been playing better than Manchester City. We will see when those we will see when those two teams play against each other to see who the better club is. But still, this is very interesting for Manchester City, and it looks like the wheels are starting to come off as we saw against Crystal Palace. And again, I talked about this in a few videos earlier in this week, and I think last week as well, that I think fatigue is finally setting in for Manchester City, along with just a hard season for this club. Now, as we saw against Crystal Palace, some of those players definitely just were not committed 100% throughout this entire match, and you could just see that. They weren't chasing balls down. They weren't playing the style that Pep Guardiola is known for doing, and it may be that his style has taken a toll and just caused a lot of tired legs for this club. And with the fixtures that they've been having, there's not too much rest time anyway, so there's the Premier League, there's FA Cup, Champions League, early in the season was the League Cup as well, and therefore I think it is taking a toll on these players. Now, that being said, I do want to talk about Manchester City and possibly them not worrying about the Premier League, and that might be the reason why I think maybe this is happening with them. Now, the reason why I think that is because this club has won the Premier League multiple times in the last decade. They've been very, almost like a juggernaut for the last couple of seasons in the Premier League. Yes, Liverpool did win one in between those seasons, but the main issue for Manchester City is they haven't won a Champions League. Yes, they came very close last year against Chelsea, but Chelsea did end up beating them, and Manchester City still cannot get past that final hurdle to lift the Champions League trophy, and that has to be their main goal this season still, because the amount of money they put into this club, you're expecting them to go on, get to the final, and most likely lift the trophy this season. They obviously have a manager that has done it before, but he seems to almost, I want to say curse, but he hasn't been able to win it since being at Barcelona. He had Bayern Munich, which that team itself probably should have won it, and it never happened. He's been at Manchester City for multiple seasons, and they still haven't won it, and it's starting to get, I don't know, one of those issues that might be in the back of his head that maybe he thinks he can't win it anymore, and he needs to prove himself that he can still win it. And I do like Pep Guardiola. I think he's a fantastic, one of the best managers ever, but there just seems to be some type of issue that he can't get past that last stage of the Champions League. And therefore, like I said, I think that is going to be the main focus for Manchester City for the rest of the season, which may see them slip up and drop into second place in the race for the title, which Liverpool, like I said, they've been just full gear going at it like crazy. And I think that League Cup win over Chelsea was the catalyst for this team to just drive them past Manchester City. And I think when they play City, they are just going to dominate that game. Yes, it will be a very close match, but still, it's going to be a very tight race at the end. But I think Liverpool will sneak it out, and Manchester City will most likely fall to second place. Now, that being said, Chelsea, I do always want to add them in. are right now technically 11 points behind Manchester City with a game in hand, so they could fall to 8 points if they win their next match, which, that being said then, if Liverpool and Manchester City draw, that has them drop 2 more points, and therefore, if Chelsea keeps winning, that leaves them 6 points behind. Yes, it will be a very hard task for Chelsea to overcome those points, but it could still happen with the club. But that being said, I think Liverpool right now are in the driver's seat. Even though they are in second place right now, I think they have the best chance to win the Premier League this season. I think Manchester City's main focus is going to be on the Champions League. So that is all I have for you today. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you have not. I greatly appreciate it. And also comment down below who you think will win the Premier League this season. I want to know what you guys think. So that is all I have, and I will see you next time.